Hi everyone, and welcome to our video on finding an exact value by using an addition or subtraction formula. So we went over these and talked about how to memorize or how to work with them. The sine formula, we have sine and cosine in each term, just the angles will alternate, keep the same sign. Cosine, the addition or subtraction formula, cosine likes to be paired with cosine, sine likes to be paired with sine, switch the sign. Okay, and make sure cosine starts it off too on this right side. So it's cosine A, cosine B minus sine A, sine B. All right, so let's see how we can work these problems. So we've got sine of 255 degrees, and we are using an addition formula. So notice that this is not on the quoted unit circle. So what we want is to find two angles. I'm going to do plus. We could do minus as well, but I want two angles here that add up to 255 that are also on the quoted unit circle. Well, because this number ends in a 5, the ones place is a 5, I'm going to do a 45-degree angle, and then it would have to be 210 as the other. Notice both of these are on the quoted unit circle. So that means we can continue with the problem. So we wouldn't want to choose something like this. So we wouldn't want to choose like 55 and 200. I mean, sure, that adds up to 255, but 55 is not on the quoted unit circle, neither is 200. And what I mean by that, we need our like 30, 45, 60, those ones. So the main ones around, all the way around. All right, so we do have it. Okay, so we've got that set up. And then now in words, I'm trying to break down the same formulas that we have right up here. I know that if I have sine with an addition, I'm thinking, oh, I should have sine of one angle and then cosine of the other angle. And then I think, oh, I should keep the plus. And then let's make sure we just alternate angles. I'm going to do sine of 210 and cosine of 45. Okay, so notice the way that I wrote it is not an exact match to the way that it was printed. I did that on purpose. I wanted to mix it up. So in the printed one here, they kept the angle A first and then angle B second, but switched sine and cosine. I preferred to keep sine first on each term, sine first on the second term, and then switch the angles in between. But I mean, either way, as long as I know I have sine and cosine in some way with a plus in between, I just double check to make sure those angles alternated. So this sine has 45, that sine has 210, good. This cosine's 210, cosine 45 over there, looks good. And then now we're just evaluating these based on the unit circle. So sine of 45 degrees is the square root of 2 over 2. Cosine of 210, I mean, we can still use the quoted unit circle. Okay, so 210 degrees is right here. And that would give us a negative square root of 3 over 2 for cosine of 210. And then we'll have plus sine of 210 is negative 1/2. Cosine of 45 is square root of 2 over 2. And so then we would just multiply through the numerator. So we've got square root of 2 and square root of 3 is the square root of 6, but it is negative. And then 2 times 2 is 4. And then we do have plus, but there's a negative, so minus. 1 times square root of 2 is square root of 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, and then after that, it's fine. If needed, they might say make it a common or make it a single fraction. If you do, make sure to use a long fraction bar because both numerators are negative right now. So I want to use a long fraction bar to keep those both negative. Be careful, they might because both of these are negative, they might factor a negative out. And if they do that, keep the fraction bar shorter. Okay, because this one has the implied parentheses in the numerator that the minus would distribute. Okay, so notice, be careful. Okay, so notice this negative's further out, it's not over the fraction. Okay, so careful with the way that you write it if you do rewrite it. Now again, I would just stop with the first one, but in case they make us do a rewrite with a single fraction, we can. Okay, that's not the only way to get that final answer. So this, I mean, this is it. The order also doesn't matter. I mean, you could have negative square root of 2 over 4 minus square root of 6 over 4. That's also the same thing. But there's different ways to have gotten it. So I just chose 45, but I'm just going to star and say we could have also gotten it doing, let's say we could have used 135 and then 120 plus 120. That's 255. That would give us one of those four answers. If I wanted to try to do a subtraction, I could have done sine of, let's say, 315 and then minus 60. That would also give us the same answer. Okay, so we would keep getting the same thing, just in different ways. Okay, so those would work as well. So there's all sorts of ways to get it. Okay, so let's try, actually I'm gonna pause this. Let's do the cosine one in a different video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.